Well, good afternoon. No, you guys can be louder than that. Good afternoon. Awesome. Thank you so much. First of all, I do want to take the time to welcome our panel guests this afternoon. I am overjoyed. I am overwhelmed with gladness to see you all present here today to have a conversation with the students of Pike High School who are really vested into making sure that they are not just leaders in the building, but leaders in our community. If you don't know, my name is Randy St. Clair. I'm the principal here at Pike High School, and I'm just excited about your presence. This discussion or this conversation about let's talk, let's listen, is really an opportunity to have a conversation about inclusiveness, to have a conversation about tolerance, to hear from people who live right here in our community, who are vested in our community about how we can be the change that we want to see. Not just at Pike High School, but within the Wilson community. This is a great community of schools, of people who come from all different backgrounds and walks of life, and it's important that we're able to lead these people, and important that we're able to really be a part and engage these people in many facets. And you all being here today shows an investment to the students at Pike High School, to the Wilson community, and so I thank you so much for your presence. I'm not going to hog the mic because I can. Like, I can talk for days and days and days, but I won't do that. I'm going to get out of the way, but I can't tell you enough, again, Mr. Atkinson, for you being here and all of you guys being here and really taking the time to invest in the lives of our students here at Pike High School. I know they're stoked, they're excited too. They may try to act shy, but they're not. So I need you guys, when you're in front of them, to pull that leader out of them. They're not shy at all, but I appreciate their presence here today. They're going to have some amazing conversations with you. So thank you for the seed that you are planting right now at Pike High School in the lives of these children, because it is not going to be for naught. It's going to come to fruition. It's going to manifest in ways that I'm glad to know that it's going to go beyond Pike High School. All right. So thank you again. I'll be around for a little bit. I have a principal's meeting I have to get back to. My boss is right here, so I'm going to make sure I'm going to get to that meeting in a second. But honestly, I thank you so much for your presence, and I'll give it over now to Mrs. Howard.
Okay, first of all, I just want to I'm going to take 2 minutes at the most, because again, this is not about hearing me talk. It's about let's getting into this, into some of the topics that we've talked about and have discussed already. So what I want to do is just to give a little bit of background. First and foremost, Mr. St. Clair, thank you so much for the opportunity for us to be able to do this. You know, when you can go to an administrator with an idea and he can immediately look at you and say, let's do it. That to me says a lot about how he cares for you and what he wants for you. He knew the idea behind this, which was we want change. We want to do something different. You know, so often in society, and all of these adults will testify to this, we see people who want to stand back in the back and they want to do what? They want to talk. This is what's wrong. This is what's wrong. This is who's doing it the incorrect way. But nobody wants to do anything. Nobody wants to put something together like, let's talk, let's listen. Now, yeah, this is small scale. Yeah, we're Wilson. But do you realize that if the change comes from this that I am envisioning, then we've got 70 to 75 lives right here that can go out and can be agents of change. So if you affect 70 other kids, you affect 70 other people, you affect 70 other, we've gone from 70 lives affected to, where's my math? Where's 70? Thank you, what he said. That many lives being changed. So that's what we want to do today. Panel members, I can't thank you enough. I sent an email to each of these panel members, and I probably had responses within the hour of, absolutely, I want to be there. I see what you want to do. We see the vision, and we want to be a part of it. So guys, y'all probably should give it up for them, because that is pretty powerful knowing that they want to do that. So let's talk, let's listen again. It's not, when we get in roundtable discussions, that is your free time to have an open conversations about the topics that we have discussed with these leaders, and I trust that they're going to lead you in the right direction. I prayed over this, and I just know that it is going to be a powerful event, just as I told you guys earlier. So at this time, I'm going to turn the mic over to one of our, actually let me introduce everyone to you, because you guys may not know everybody. Of course, you guys saw Mr. Anthony Atkinson. He was here this morning to speak with you guys. This is Miss Izette Darden. She is a pre-med student at East Carolina University. This is Miss Cassandra Darden. I probably could go for days with your titles and degrees, but she is currently a pastor. She has her nursing degree. She's an attorney. I mean, I could just go for days. That's awesome, right? I'm just a teacher, by the way, just a little teacher. But she has all of those degrees. Of course, you know Dr. Elaine Mills, who's our superintendent and signs my paycheck. This is the It's Snowing and we get out of school voice that you guys love so much, right? Amber Lynch. Yeah. Exactly. But that is, I'm sorry, but that's just the voice we love to hear. This is Assistant Superintendent Kelvin Cyrus, who of course you'll see at all the games. He does have a son that goes here, and of course he takes care of a lot of stuff behind the scenes at Central Office. Youth Pastor Scott Sauls, when I said that name earlier, some of you are like, yeah, Farmington Heights, I know him, it's a local church here. Miss Christy Proctor, who owns Chick-fil-A, and of course I brought her here because when you think of Wilson Education and a partnership and all those things, that is a face and a name that goes hand in hand with that. So she goes above and beyond to help with education here in Wilson. This is Chief Thomas Hopkins. He is our Chief of Police. The only time you better see him is right now. Okay, that is the only time, but of course we have him, and then sitting behind him is the sheriff of our town, Mr. Calvin Woodard. Again, only time you should see him and meet him is now. Dante Pittman, this gentleman right here I taught when he was in the 6th grade, which shows a lot, I guess, of how old I am. But the very first time I met him, and he'll probably tell you this, I told him, you're going to be the next president of the United States. Believe it. Because this gentleman right here has gone, the things that he's done already is just amazing. And the potential that is within him, I had to have him here for this. And you'll see why when you guys meet him individually. Mr. Marcos Asuna is the youth pastor at my church that I'm going to now. I love the way he connects with youth. I mean, you know, you ever heard somebody, they start talking, it's like they're just eating out of your hands. You know what I mean? He has that effect. He's able to talk to students, and students are just mesmerized when he's speaking. It's nothing but God, but that's what he's able to do, so I wanted him to be a part of this as well. So, Miss Cassandra Darden, as I spoke with you earlier, she's a pastor at a local church here, is going to come and address you guys for a few minutes before we begin the town hall session. Miss Cassandra.
I expect to pass through this world but once, so any good I can do, any kindness that I can show to any human being, let me not defer nor neglect, for I shall not pass this way again. Good morning, Hunt Warriors. Now you guys have another motto, and I don't like that, so I'm calling you Warriors because we're on battlefield. And I know it's the demons. Is that your motto? So I don't like demons, okay? I don't like that title. But what I do like is that you are beginners. Because before there was a betting field and before there was a hunt, there was fight. And you're almost at 50 years, and your motto is students first. But what I love is that when I look at you, I say, good afternoon, brilliant minds. Good afternoon, teachers, doctors, educators, lawyers, dentists, engineers, architects, builders, dreamers, visionaries. Good afternoon. You are our future if you live for tomorrow. You are our future if you make the right decision. So why are we here? And why am I holding this notebook? Because me, like most attorneys, like to talk a whole lot. And I like to make sure that I get out what I want to say. But you know, one thing I didn't hear, I said, why are we here? And I called you what I see in the future. But nobody clapped. Nobody applauded. I called you engineers. I called you builders. I called you teachers. I call you motivators. I call you architects. I call you dreamers. And you're still not clapping. So why are we here? Because we need you. The world is crying for you. The economy is crying for you. The medical field is crying for you. Science is crying for you. Computer is crying for you. And we folks gonna get old. Somebody has to take care of us. Somebody has to continue making medications, coming up with new ideas to take care of the cancers, to take care of the diabetes, and all the conditions that we yet still don't have answers for. We come because we care about you. We come because we have a vested interest in you. We come because we are one nation, indivisible, under God. And that we are our sisters and brothers keepers. We come because we have over 300 years of experience among ourselves. And guess what? You're about to embark on the most important journey of your life, and it starts right now. It starts today. Tomorrow's behind us, and yesterday is our only imagination of what will be. But right now, right today, we want to take you on this journey. There are some decisions that you must make as you start on this journey called life. There are some costs that you must count up, and you've got to fuel up your tank. But if you've got the worst kind of gas there is, you won't go far. So we have been where you are, and for some of that, it's been a much longer time than others. But we've been where you are, and we've acquired some good information. We've had some good experiences. We had some bad experiences, and we are here for you because timeless truths are relevant even for every generation. The truths that got us to where we were and where we are today, the truth that will take us into the future generations, are the truths that we want to share with you about our lives, about our struggles, about the opportunities and the doors that were open for us, the doors that we walked through, the things that we did not take for granted, our parents, and most important for me, our God. We're here also to listen to what you have to say, because you have ideas, you have concerns, and we're here so that we can help you. But we need you to help us to help you. So we need to understand what you're thinking about. What is this new generation? What is on your mind? What is on your thoughts? What is it that concerns you? What wakes you up at night? What do you dream about? What makes your heart race? So we want to hear from you. But we're also here because when you fail, we fail as a community. So as I said before, we are one nation. When one of us fails, all of us fails. But when one of us succeed, all of us succeed. We're here to show you how to use your voice, because every one of you have a voice. And whether you believe it or not, there's something that you have to give to this world that nobody else can give. Now we got a globetrotter that trots. We got a preacher that hoops. And we got a sheriff that knows how to arrest. He knows the law. And we have an attorney that knows how to do good closing arguments, how to get you in jail, out of jail. But we have a voice that we have used. And we want to help you to use your voice. Your voice to win favor. Your voice to win battles and not lose them. Because the right word spoken at the right time can get life-changing results. But the wrong word at the wrong time can cost you a lot. So, as I think of Nelson Mandela's words, education is a great engine of personal development. And James Warr said that minds are like parachutes. They only function when they're open. But then as I close, I said, tell me and I'll forget. Show me and I'll remember. Involve me and I'll understand. So today we're involving you in this process. Don't be afraid to ask the deep questions. And may you see sunshine where others see shadows, opportunities where others see obstacles. And as one says, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So let's get started on these steps. God bless you. Good to be here.
Thank you very much, Pastor Darden. We're going to go ahead and go into the town hall session at this time. We do have one other community member that's going to be joining us shortly. He was in a trial, and the trial ran over, but he just texted to let me know he's on his way. So he will be here shortly, and he'll fill the stage as well. So don't be disturbed when he comes in. He's supposed to be here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to call up the individual students who are going to ask the questions, and you will address the community member in which you wanted to ask the question. Community members, if you will try to answer within 2 to 3 minutes as best as you can, and then we'll open it up to any community member who wants a minute or so to respond if you do. If you'd rather just wait for roundtable discussions, that's fine as well. So our first person coming up to the mic is a 10th grader, Mr. Iyad Abdelaziz, and he is going to address Dr. Lane Mills.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you guys all. And my first question for Dr. Lane Mills is, well, as a superintendent for our school, what would you say is the number one thing that why students don't graduate from high school, and why don't they further their education past Wilson County schools and then going further? Yeah, so.
Gotcha. First, let me clarify. The person you think about the weather calls, she doesn't do anything but make the calls. Okay? We have people out riding roads all day and night, and you hear her voice, and she's the great person. This is so unfair. I just want to go on record. So now that I got that out of my system, you know, I like to focus on the other end of that question is why do students graduate? Because I really want to focus on positive things. But there really isn't one good answer. I wish I could tell you one. I'm a dad and a school administrator, so I've got skin in the game on both sides. I think the one thing that makes a huge difference is connections.
Yeah.
Connections with our students and our schools. Because we need to offer you the right choices to keep you going. So you've got to looking at early colleges, we've got career and college ready, we've got AP, IB, we've got a litany of things. But if you're not connected to something that has meaning to you and a relationship with that great course that you like or that teacher that really makes a difference for you, it's really easy to kind of lose your way. So we have to do some things on our end. We have to monitor. We got to make sure you're on track to do those things. How many of you had counselor conversations recently about, am I on go? How's my stuff doing? How many are looking at college applications now? Because this whole conversation we're having in a high school auditorium really has to take place in elementary school. Because that's when you start making choices about what you're going to do early on of what kind of student am I going to be.
Yeah.
And so a big part of it is support
Yeah.
from our end. And also there's a little bit of stuff that comes from the student end is you have to do your part. So we want you to come prepared. We want you to ask questions. We want you to challenge us too.
Sure.
Because it's going to take both. So there's no easy answer, but I think we have to make sure we make the right connections and have that support system, because it's really easy to lose your way. It's really, how many of you feel overwhelmed sometimes? Just with the sheer, I mean, it's true. I'll join you. There's just so much stuff coming at you every day. You have these things called phones that you live with. I mean, that's your network that are overwhelming all the time. You have all these avenues, but everything's coming at you, so the balance is really hard. So we have to deal with that world and make sure you don't get overwhelmed, because sometimes when people get overwhelmed, they shut down, and then we lose them. So it's a little bit of that.
My second question is, like, what can you do as students to support one another so that students can continue their education? So,
I think part of that conversation is what you're doing today.
yeah.
You're being a model for what we want all of our students to do. You're engaged, you're asking questions, you're taking ownership for your education, for what you're doing. But you need to remember that we want you to stop for that student that you don't know or is not in that group and pull them in. You can see them in the hallways, in the classrooms now, can't you? The ones that kind of don't have that clique or that group sometimes. And we've all been there. But I think connecting them as you go through makes a big difference. And being real about it. Because you're not going to trust some guy in a suit with a tie and a badge, are you? You see me coming out, how we do. I got to get in class. I better go the other way. But all you have on the same T-shirts for a reason. Why? Okay? So there's a community there, and there's a team, there's a family. So when you pull people in, that's another support system. And you have to look out for some of your own. That's really important. It's going to pay off. But we can't do everything in North Kenyatta, so it's got to be a little bit of both. But I really think that makes a big difference of looking out. And that school culture that you have here at Fike is a great part of that. Because I know you all look out for each other. I know what Mr. St. Clair's expectations of you are.
Thank you, guys.
I think Dr. Mills did a great job of covering that, but I do want to open it up if there's anybody on the panel who would like to follow up for a minute or so. Good, because most of y'all's check gets something. There you go. Okay, good. Okay, thank you, Dr. Mills. Next will be Shayla Willingham, who is also a 10th grader here at Fike High School. Her question is for Miss Cassandra Darden.
Miss Cassandra, thank you for coming out today. We really appreciate it. As I was looking over your bio that Ms. Howard shared with us, it was very inspiring to see all your success and all the accomplishments you've had so far. Did you experience any discriminations of being African American and a woman? What advice would you give to any African American woman that faces these obstacles?
Thank you so much for coming and asking me that question. And my answer is yes, I've experienced a great deal of discrimination as a nurse working at Duke, as a member of the United States Navy, as a judge advocate, among my peers, as well as senior officers. I've experienced much discrimination even in some of the, when I was at the JAG school. And so the advice that I would give you is expect that not everybody's going to like you. And some people are going to dislike you because of the color of your skin and because you're a female. Don't be shocked, because the thing that takes me by surprise sometimes when people don't see it coming. But when you see it coming, you can respond to it. But it's not just white people. It was also black people. And that was what hurt the most. When they were discriminating, wanted to treat other people better because they thought they would win favor. So what I would offer you as experiences, number 2, know what your gifts and your talent and your worth are. So regardless of how much people devalue you, how much they dislike you, you are empowered because you know what your gifts, what your talents, and what your worths are. Don't take the attacks personal. When I see people that discriminate and that hate, I said it's their problem, not mine, and I'm not going to allow it to become my problem. I am who God says I am. I am a royal priesthood. I am a prince in the kingdom of God. We have much to offer. Don't allow it to define you and make you become bitter, because when we're hated, when we're discriminated, and we're mistreated, it's so easy to draw ourselves into that and lose focus on who we are and what we're here for. But if you remain focused and live with intentionality, saying, I will not get bitter, and I will not seek revenge, but like Les Brown said, the best revenge is massive success. I will show them that we are all created equal, and especially in the eyes of God, we all have something to give. And then surround yourself with godly, good people. You need support. Mine was my church. Mine was my dad, who said it, the worst challenges I had, this is only a minor setback. And my mother, who loved me. And I've got a great husband who's sitting right out there as well. I have older people. I love hanging out with the wise people, that just like these folks that are up here today. People that will challenge you and remind you of who you are. And not all people that will help you will look like you, because I've had white men and black women and women of all colors that I've embraced, and they've embraced me. So don't become paranoid either. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Pastor Darden. We appreciate you addressing that. African American women. I don't guess anybody else can follow up on that unless you have anything else you want to say as far as experiences. Okay, so the next question then will come from an 11th grader, Chibi Awakaway. Did I say your name right? Awakaway, right? Okay. All right, and he is going to address Chief Hopkins and Sheriff Woodard.
Okay, so thank you for coming today. Obviously right now, a big topic right now is the relationship between black males and the law enforcement, or lack thereof. So first of all, we appreciate what you do in our community, and we know that not all police are racist, but it's hard to trust when we see like a lot of black people treated brutally because of their color of skin. So that being said, what are the law enforcement agencies in our area doing to bridge the relationship between African Americans and the police?
Okay, I'll go first. Chief Hopkins for the Wilson Police Department. I would say by starting what we call strategic implementation of community-oriented policing philosophy. And basically what that is, it's about building strong relationships, building trust within the community. Myself, and I know I can speak for Sheriff Woodard as well, and we'd like him to speak as well, is that we have programs within our agencies that we do every year, during the year, to help build those relationships. We think it's important that we get together and do things together and learn each other, talk about issues, mentor young adults and different things like that. Not just when kids get in trouble. We have older adult programs that we have in the police department. We have a Citizens Academy. In the Citizens Academy, adults can attend the academy. It's generally a couple nights a week or one night a week over about 12 to 14 weeks. And you actually learn everything there is to learn about law enforcement. Now, the police department and sheriff's office work hand in hand, and we have different classes that talk about not just what we do, but why we do some things and how we do it. And sometimes I've found along the journey is that the biggest cause of frustration and misunderstanding is because for lack of communication, and there is no understanding. So understanding why we have to do some of the things that we do, and it works both ways. Law enforcement officers, it's important for law enforcement officers to learn the community that they serve. We have to understand and learn the community that we serve. We have a very diverse community. We have diverse agencies, and it's important for us to know what the issues are in specific communities. What may be an issue in one community may not be an issue in another community. And so being able to get together and be transparent. We like for the community to know what we do, again, and how we do things. We think that's important. We have about 20 to 25 different programs and camps. It would take me probably all afternoon to name them all, but those camps afford us the opportunity to interact with youth in the community. We have a Citizens Academy alumni, so when the adults get done learning about what we do, we continue to meet to get together so that we can keep them up with issues. We encourage our community to participate in neighborhood association groups. So a lot of times when issues and those things come out, and sometimes there may be hot topic issues that are things that are going on around the country. And so we have a forum, I guess, sort of like this, that we can actually sit down and answer those type questions. Why don't, what's going on around America? Why law enforcement officers? Why doing this and different things? And so our policies are a little different sometimes, or maybe different than what you see on television and what's going on around the country. The way they do things may be a little bit different than the way myself or Sheriff Woodard do things with the Sheriff's Office as well. So it's about getting together, working together, learning each other. We understanding the community that we serve and having an open door mentality, just like you all are doing today, so that the community can come in and talk to us, tell us what those issues are, and we try to put programs together, not just putting people in jail. It's more than just arresting people. You can't arrest your way out of issues and problems that we have around the country. It goes far deeper than that. And so having an open door policy and being able to have those programs and those camps and those things that allows us to interact with our community is probably one of the biggest, maybe one of the most important things that we do as law enforcement officers.
And I'll just chime in a little bit on what the chief said, please. Thank you, Chief. I can get a little louder. I do have a son that's 18, so I can get louder, but I try to. But just to chime in a little bit on what Chief Hopkins said, first of all, he's not also a great leader, but also a good friend. And it's great to have two agencies that work together to try to fight the common cause, and one that's not a good question, that's a great question. Because when the incident started occurring in Ferguson, I can honestly tell you that local law enforcement here started kind of looking at ways to see what we can do to ensure that we don't have those problems here. And I'm so thankful and thank God we haven't had those problems. For like Chief Hopkins said, from the programs that his agency, the Wilson Police Department, does, as well as what the Sheriff's Office does with our PALS program. I sent all my supervisors through procedural justice class, and that's something that the federal government made Ferguson do, but we didn't have to be made to do that. We did it for our officers, as well as juvenile sensitivity training. So we were able to build a foundation with our young African American males, as well as everyone within the community, to ensure them that you won't have these type of problems. Plus, one thing that I can honestly say that I definitely support the chief in, and that we kind of followed suit when I became sheriff, was an internal affairs office. So if you have a complaint in the community where there's a excessive use of force or whatever it may be, you can report that, and then we would thoroughly investigate it. And that's something that I feel very proud to have. I feel very proud and sad to say I mocked the chief on that, but that was a good, definitely a good thing to do. And so that's the best way to do it. And also, our older adults, with our pastors, we have programs with our pastor. The chief has a pastor division as well. So I mean, we're able to get out here in the community to show everyone in the community, and especially where the issue that has arisen from other states, that we can fight this here. We can fight it because we can stop it all here to where we can enjoy our young men and women, regardless of the race, the gender, or whatever it may be. We can enjoy them and be one, and that's what we need in our community, being one. So again, sir, that's a great question, because I even allude back to one thing where they talked about law enforcement officers training the public, and this is going to be a law on how to react whenever we stop you. No, sir. And the chief could, I'm pretty sure he's done it in his agency, but we're learning our officers how to react when they stop you. It's not your job to say, well, look, let me act this way or that way. We hope and pray that you act, in a kind manner, but we need to be able to control ourselves and our attitudes as well when we stop you, regardless of whatever may have happened at work or at home. So again, sir, that's a great question that you asked. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both. That was powerful from both of you, and I think that when we get in roundtable discussions that we can further go into that a little bit further with some other questions that the students had. I have 2 left, and we're actually about 3 minutes, so if y'all can answer it in about 1 minute and 30 seconds, that would be great. Last 2, the first one is an 11th grader, Miss Nevaeh Barbie, who is going to address Miss Izette Darden.
Like Coach Howard said, I'll be addressing Miss Izette Darden, and I want to thank all of y'all for being here. And I was drawn to your bio because I saw how important education was for you, and how far you got playing basketball, and how much you've changed over time with your goals and everything. And I just wanted to know, like, if you could have a conversation with yourself now, but like. If you can go back in time and go talk to yourself at 18, what would you tell yourself?
Thank you, Nevaeh. I would probably tell first and foremost, I would tell myself to have a relationship with God. And that has been the key to a lot of my success, all of my success. And to realize that I was not only an athlete, but I was a student as well. So the same way I stepped on the court with confidence to go into the classroom with that same confidence and say, I'm going to be the best student. I'm going to strive to get A's, because I hear people say, oh, a C. I like a C. A C is like an F to me. Like I strive for higher goals. And I would say to you, set goals, many goals, not just one goal, have multiple goals, and strive to be different. Don't try to hang in with the crowd. If you know someone is doing something wrong, be around positive people. And like all the people in here who talked about, get around people who are going to support you, who's going to have your back, and who's going to encourage you. So that's pretty much it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Darden. And our last person that will come to the microphone here will be AJ Gunter, and he will address Dante Pittman, and then we'll go into our roundtable discussions.
Thank you for being here today. My question for you is, have you experienced any challenges in your life that have caused you to hinder your ability to be a leader? Because Ms. Howard saw you as a leader in the classroom. Have you experienced any challenges in your life that have hindered your ability to be a leader in your community?
I would say, yeah, and I guess we're talking about race. I would even say, being biracial, whether it be on my campus at UNC or campaign committees or even my family, oddly enough. I would say I've experienced some challenges there. What I would tell you, and I would tell every person, no matter what your race is that the most liberating thing you can do is to try to transcend it. We can't help what we are. We're stuck with it. So the best thing you can do is to try to show the courage to transcend and to be more than what you see on your skin color. Thomas Jefferson once said that one man with courage is a majority, and I truly believe that. Actually, fun fact, Andrew Jackson actually said one man with courage makes a majority, and he just stole that from Thomas Jefferson. So when you see in the history books, don't believe it. But my best advice would be to do everything you can to transcend that. And it takes courage. And it takes a great amount of courage because we're vulnerable when we're trying to overcome something that we can't change about ourselves. But to keep it short, if we don't have the courage to overcome that fear, then we won't ever be successful. And truthfully, if we don't have that courage, we don't deserve to be. Thank you.